join me. Let's do some art.
So what I have here today is an old-fashioned coffee grinder. I found it at a thrift store. It works perfectly. It looks brand new, like it has never been used before. It has a little drawer. It has a little sign that tells me that it was made in Italy. And even though this piece is vintage, I looked it up and it's very common, therefore not worth a whole lot. So rather than selling it as is, I am thinking to turn it into an assemblage. So I start by working with a piece of wood and some little wooden cubes I got at the dollar store, as I want to add other elements to this grinder. First, though, I add a little divider into the drawer made from just a sturdy piece of cardboard. Next, I have this uniquely shaped wooden box, and I want to add it slightly elevated. So I use a second box, which comes from a miniature domino game, which, by the way, was not complete. In order to have everything on the same level, I will remove these rubber feet. I replace them by using a few of the dominoes. They're a lot thinner and will give me the right height. I am planning to create something of a machine-like steampunk style assemblage thingy, and this is just a good start to give me some basic shapes. So as you can see, I add everything to my platform, including a few more little wooden bits I got at the dollar store. It gives me a little ledge where my other wooden box can rest on. For all of my gluing, I use my E6000 like always. Here and there also will use my glue gun. Now I don't want to lose that little sign, so I add it to the bottom of this little contraption because I didn't want it on the front, because I will decorate that differently. Next, I have these two little well containers. I believe they came from some kind of espresso machine, and they just look cool and give me a bit of that gas container look. Then this little metal piece, I have no clue where it came from, and now I am working with some craft foam. You are all familiar with this. I use it very, very rarely, but I just thought that this may give me the look I'm after. So I use this little clay tool, which makes tiny indentations, and they look like seams. Now, while I was working on this project, I of course tried to capture everything on video, but some parts were just not worth keeping, so I edited out all the repetitious stuff, everything that you couldn't see very well because of the odd angle, but I believe that all the important things are here. All right, that was my little introduction, but from here on, I believe you will be able to follow everything easily. Like always, you will find anything you need to know, any of my mediums, in the captions. I will turn you over to some music, but I will be back later on chatting with you. Enjoy. Now, after the coloring was to my liking, I added a few more unpainted and movable parts here and there, all in the silver color. So here on the top are a couple of silver beads, and I have these gears that turn. I attached them with some screws. I also slipped a few tarnished silver gears underneath the grinder. Then there's also a hook with a long chain that is attached to the sliding door. The door also has a little handle, and when it slides all the way out, it can be kept in this little open space underneath the top box. Now, I purposely did not paint the box from the inside because the slide is very tight and I didn't want to interfere with it moving smoothly. Now, I also found a few screws and nuts. I found some metal numbers added here and there just for a bit of extra decoration. Now, here on the other side, I attached a small jump ring with a cool vintage key. I have also another hook with a chain and a tiny little tool. And then I completed the side by also adding 2 gears that turn and a few underneath the grinder. Now, I think that the color and the playfulness of these add-ons really adds to the interest of the overall piece. Here in the back, as you can see, is actually one more gear, but that one is just screwed down. It doesn't move. So here on the top, we have the silver that I left because I wanted to keep the color, but the dome opens. The handle is still silver, and so is the inside of that little bowl. Now, the drawer has a little divider, and that's because I want to add a few little paper add-ons. So I made these very simple vintage looking tags. They're actually made from old clothes tags. I added some metal components, some very simple vintage pictures, and so on. And I did not capture this on camera because my video is already so long, and these are add-ons that you most likely already know how to put together. The last little tag actually is made out of metal. All these bits have very subdued colors and I think fit really well. Now, of course, I had the thought of adding more to the inside of all the little spaces I created. And I think it would have been cool to do something coffee related. But honestly, in spite of having a big stash of doodads, I just couldn't find anything suitable. So I decided to leave them just for storage places. And of course, because the back of the drawer is functional, the coffee grinder still works, and whoever will get it in the future can still grind their coffee with it. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this project. Thank you so much for coming. I will be adding some photos and I will be back as soon as my next project is done. Have a great week and bye-bye for now.